Hey lovelies, welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. Let's get into today's video. Today we're going to be talking about Ready to Love, Make a Move. As usual, I'm going to be talking about the key bits I picked up from this episode and then let's discuss it in the chat. Okay guys, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is Donald and Ashley. So the episode picked up from where it stopped in terms of Donald and Ashley. Donald was basically telling Ashley that he was married before. He got married at the age of 21 and that the marriage ended within a year. Now, I feel like in that moment, Ashley took it well. And, she was like, yes, like you should have told me before. But she also said in her confessionals that she feels like he's a hopeless romantic just like her and that she likes that. I'm like, okay, girl, I'm glad she took it well, but I'm also glad that she expressed that he should have told her before because he should have told her before. I know like sometimes people say, oh yeah, you're still getting to know the person. Yes, but that is a very, very key point. People have different reasons. Some people don't want to date someone that has been married before for religious reasons or personal reasons, right? So I feel like that is something that you should let somebody know. You can't just keep that to yourself until a later point. But nonetheless, I think Ashley took it well. I will say that she took it well. Now, let's move on to Zadia and Cameron. Zadia went over to Cameron's house and then in the confessionals, they were asking if it was the first time she'd been to Cameron's house. I'm like, oh my goodness, girl. Like, seriously. Oh, so she's like, yeah, it's her first time. Who knows if that's true or not. But she grown. She can do whatever she wants. So he starts going on about the fact that, he has like a good sense of vision of what he wants and like, he's thinking of getting more properties in New Orleans and he doesn't see himself in DC, right? So Zadia, of course, is trying to be like, well, you should be open and all that kind of stuff. But what it seems like is Cameron is not open to moving to DC. He's just not. He wants to stay in New Orleans, and it sounds like Zadia does not want to move to New Orleans. So either way, it does not even sound like it's going to end the way Zadia wants it to end. I will say that. It just doesn't come across like it will. So Zadia asked this question. Zadia was like, is she the right person? I'm like, oh, Cameron looks uncomfortable. Cameron looks like, I don't want to answer that question. And then he's like, oh, that's what he's trying to see. This is the thing that gets me about that, right? When I speak to a lot of like men, right, they usually say they know pretty early on if that is their wife, right? Or if that's their partner, life partner, whatever, right? So I'm just thinking, they've been dating, they've been spending a lot of time together this last couple of weeks, right? So I feel like he needs to have a sense of if that's who he wants to be with. And if he doesn't, then something is up, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I understand that it's a fast-paced process, right? But at the outset what you're signing up for. If you're coming on Ready to Love, you're going to be going on dates. If you connect with the person, you're going to be going on more dates, right? So I don't really understand why it seems like a shocker. So I don't know. The whole thing is like rubbing me the wrong way. I will say that. Like, I just thought, the fact that he couldn't even like validate her or like reassure her in that moment, like, girl, I really like you. Of course, at this stage, I don't know if you're the one yet, but I really, really like you. I love getting to know you. I would love to explore more and get to know you even better. That would have been nice, right? Instead, Mandem was just like, oh, he's just trying to see. So I'm like, girl, I don't think he's that into you, if I'm being honest. Zadia seems really into him, but I don't think Cameron is as into her, which is just very sad. Anyways, let's talk about Charisse and a blind date. So Charisse went on a blind date and I was just like, there ain't even much to say about that date. It was just flirtatiousness left, right, and center. She seemed head over heels with the fact that he has a nice body. And this is the thing, don't get me wrong, like I like a guy with a nice body, but the way she was like looking at him, the way he was looking, I was like, okay, this is very much given, like, are you guys going to talk about anything other than like this whole looking and staring at each other back and forth? Also, I feel like Charisse is very, very shallow because I was just looking and I was like, okay, are you going to like redirect the conversation? Let's say he is even like, although he should have some conversations, but let's even say like he wants to stare at you and, you know, but you're also like partaking in that, right? There was no you trying to shift the conversation into a proper conversation. Instead, it was given, ooh, I want to see what you look like under that shirt. Like, it was very much given, like, let's go home now. What the heck? Like, is that someone that is trying to find a life partner? I don't know about that. Anyways, let's talk about Vern and Tabari. So Vern went over to Tabari's house. He showed her around the house. And Vern started expressing that she does have some concerns about the fact that he spends a lot of time in Mississippi. Guys, when I think about Mississippi, or hear Mississippi, I'm always like, am I cricket? It just reminds me of that show. What's it called again? With Uncle Clifford. But anyways, I can't remember what the show is called. But yeah. Anyways, we move. So she's like, how is that going to work? And he's talking about how, you know, if they were in something, they would make it work. In a way, he seems more open to making things work compared to how Jabari was. Jabari was more of like a, we're going to make it work. It wasn't like a, we going to make it work kind of guy. It was more like, we going to do what I want, you know? So I feel like it's nice that on the other end, she's with like someone or talking to someone who seems a lot more flexible and open. But I will be honest, I don't think Vern is feeling him. Like, the more I think about it, I just don't think Vern is feeling him. I think that he's a little bit awkward at times. Like when she walked into the house, he had his hand on his hip and he wasn't like immediately hugging her. Like, I don't think there's chemistry there, if I'm being completely honest. So I feel like it's almost like if she could have the chemistry she has with Jabari, and the conversation that she has with Tabari and the flexibility of Tabari, I think should be good. It's just, I think that chemistry is missing, because Tabari does some really awkward-ish, and I just don't think so. And also, I don't think Vern is as attracted to him. I will say that. But anyways, let's move on to Cameron deciding to show up to see Zadia at the house. So he popped up over at the house and he was saying to her that, you know, he's dealing with a lot of pressure right now and his time is being like dragged and like pulled basically in other directions, and that he feels like, you know, this is a slow process and whatnot, right? He then also talks about the fact that, you know, he's enjoying spending time with her, but his time is limited at the moment. And then tells her that, you know, if she wants to hang on to him, that's fine. But if she wants to part ways, and see other people, that's okay as well. This is the thing. It's given, you know, when someone wants to end things with you and then they come up with like an elaborate thing about like, oh, it's not you, it's me. I'm just so busy right now. Like my focus is not really on this. 3 weeks later, they're engaged to somebody else. I honestly feel like Cameron is trying to get rid of Zadia. He's probably like, I'm interested no more. I don't want to do this no more. I just want to focus on my life. And, you know, that's all that he wants to do. I don't think he's really into Zadia like that. And also, I think the fact that he's here for a good time, not a long time, right? And it feels like Zadia is getting invested and talking about feelings and do you think I'm the one and all of that. He's like, I'm not, girl, I just want to be on dates. I want to get this check from coming on the show and be on dates with beautiful women and that's that, like, and work. Like, he's not here thinking like, yo, let me meet the one. So that's not his focus. And either way, I don't think he sees Zadia in that way. I think they must have had a really good night that first night. I don't know what happened on that first night, but he is behaving almost like someone who has gotten the goods and is just like, I've gotten what I wanted. Like, you know, we got that good sexual experience that I wanted, and now it's like, I don't really care anymore. Like, I don't really need anything more. Of course, that doesn't mean they actually did something. They could have sat in the car. Like, I know, like, I've had really good conversations with people and just sat in the car talking to them until the sun came up, right? Like, it was just really good conversations, getting to know each other. And I know sometimes, like, it's such an intimate experience, like, even if you don't do anything, like, talking to someone and getting to know them in the car, in the space for hours, you almost feel like so connected to them, and you feel like, wow, I know so much about this person, only to then find out, like, girl, this person ain't that into you. You just had really bum ass conversations and all that stuff. And like, as someone who is a conversationalist, and I think Zadia is a conversationalist, I think she is very attracted to conversation. And so it could have just been them just chilling and like talking until the sun came up, right? And that made her feel like, oh, this is a man that I'm into. This is a man that I really like and likes me. And then she's been working like backwards ever since, right? Thinking, ignoring all the red flags, ignoring all the signs from him, thinking, oh my God, remember that first night where we just connected. And I think that's really what that is. That's if they didn't do the do, but I'm just saying, like, that could also be why Zadia seems sprung. My thing is, he's trying to leave that man, let him go. But she ain't let him go, you know. She did ask him, though, in all fairness to Zadia, she did ask him, do you want to part ways? And he's like, no. But the truth of the matter is, if he wanted to part ways in that moment, he should have been direct and honest and said, I'm so sorry, right now, I need to. Right? Like, I know sometimes men feel like they have to spare women feelings, but you are hurting her more by dragging it on, by leading her on. Better to just be honest and direct. So there's no confusion, right? This is the thing that he said that kept like ringing in my ears. He kept saying, you know, I would like to like still be able to take you around, and you know, you're not a tour guide. You want to be taking her around, but you are not going to have enough time to show up for her. Like, make it make sense. It does not add up. Like, it's just weird. So he kept saying that, and I was like, he is here for a good time, Zadia. He just wants to bone you, spend time with you in that way, take you around, no commitment, and then move on as soon as he finds his wife. That's what I'm thinking. Girl, wake up. Anyways, let's talk about Charisse. Charisse pulled Vern and Zadia to the side because she was trying to decide whether she needed to pick Will or the muscular guy that I can't remember his name. He didn't even make an impression on me, so I can't even remember his name. So they start talking. I'm like, okay, why Zadia and Vern? But okay. So Zadia starts saying that, you know, what is important to you. I think for her, conversation and communication is important. Vern then also said chemistry is important. So to be fair, I feel like either way, I don't think she came out knowing what to do. But anyway, are we surprised she chose the muscular guy? And like I said at the start, Charisse is shallow, right? Her and William had better conversations. She was smiling. She was entertained. She was engaged, right? And William is a good-looking man, right? But of course, he's not like muscular in that way. So he's not like, I don't want to say attractive, but quote unquote attractive in that way to Charisse. But they had really good conversations. He seemed like a sweet guy. He seemed like he actually genuinely liked Charisse. He even got her a gift. I was like, that's very sweet. You're getting to know someone, you got her a nice gift. Like, that's really nice, right? Instead, you pick the one who couldn't even have conversations but was staring you down, and you both were staring at each other. Okay, then. All right, if you like it, I love it. But are we surprised? She's shallow, so I'm not surprised she chose within that realm. I guess shallow gravitates towards shallow. And that's that. So Ashley chose Donald. And in the confessional, she kept saying, oh, you know, she's worried about, like, what else is Donald hiding and all of that and this. The thing about Ashley is this. I feel like Ashley is attracted to toxicity. Ashley, the way she moved with Kirsten makes me look at her with a side eye. And the way 1 minute something is good and then the next minute she wants reassurance, she's worried about the thing, that bothers me as well. And I really don't even think Donald is being honest and truthful. I think Donald is performing, honey. Donald is performing and getting his check, in my opinion. That's what I think. So I don't really believe that's going to last. But anyway, she kept him. And then Venetia kept Tabari. I'm like, I just think she's just keeping him for keeping's sake, because I don't think the connection or the chemistry is there. I think he plays too much. I think that, the chemistry is non-existent. So from day one, I kind of saw that, when she saw him, I don't think she was immediately attracted to him. But I thought maybe like attraction with her could grow depending on her getting to know him a little bit more. But I'm not seeing chemistry, and they've been out a few times now. So it's not looking good on this season. I don't know if anyone is really going to come out with a relationship. I will say that. Anyways, Tamika basically told the ladies that they would get an opportunity to go on a blind date with someone from their past, i.e. someone who they've interacted with on this particular show, right? So we then saw that Venetia went on a blind date with Mizell. So, of course, she brings up to Mizell the fact that he lied and kind of made it seem like, he wasn't that into Vern and he didn't like really reach out and all of that stuff. Mizell was apologetic. Here's the thing. I don't care if he apologizes. It is a character issue. For someone to lie and basically pretend like he wasn't really reaching out to you, like he didn't like you like that, when he really wanted to go on a date with you and he's reaching out to you like that, that's a person who doesn't have character. That's not a man of integrity. So guess what? If he did Cherie like that, or Charisse, whatever her name is, he gonna do you like that as well. And I would be highly disappointed in Vern if she decides to keep him. I would be extremely disappointed. And I hope she does not even think about it. Like, girl, don't even think about it. And she said to him, everyone is fair game. I'm like, you keep saying that, right? But then Vern still asked if he was still into Charisse. I'm like, if everyone is fair game, does it matter if he's still into Charisse? Right? But you still wanted that assurance. You still wanted to know. Girl, you better don't even think about it. I like Vern, but no, don't think about it. Girl, if it's the nonsense that you would have been pulling, you should have stayed with Jabari. Like, no. Anyways, I really hope she doesn't choose him. And that's all I have to say to you guys today. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of this episode. I really don't think anyone is leaving with an actual relationship that will last, because this is looking like a whole mess. And I think there's probably just 3 episodes left or so. So, yeah. It's not looking good, bruv. Not looking good. Anyways, please hit that like button. Please make sure you subscribe and tap that bell for notifications so you know every single time that I post. I'm almost on that 1,000 subscriber mark, so please keep subscribing, guys. And I will see you guys later. Bye.